Did you know that Hawaii's affordable housing comes with an expiration date? Hi, my name is Aura Reyes, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Hawaii's affordable housing crisis and how unaffordable homes has been impacting its local community, how affordability is determined, and how affordable housing is lost to the private market each year. So Hawaii's affordable housing crisis is driven by rising costs, flawed affordability metrics, and housing policies that allow publicly funded units to be lost. So why don't we begin? Oh wait, no. Why don't we begin? I have been in housing policy now for the past 7 years. It first started just on my neighborhood board meetings, participating in community discussions on like different housing policies. Then I later became a fellow with the Hawaii Housing Affordability Coalition, where I really learned a lot about housing policy and affordable housing development here in Hawaii. So with that, why don't we just go ahead and get started? And I'm just going to touch a little bit on the community impact of Hawaii's unaffordable housing. So over 80% of Hawaii's total population is cost burdened.
You're right. I already got Queen Slayer.
UHero's Hawaii Housing Factbook 2025 stated that 56.3% of residents are cost burdened and 28.2% are severely cost burdened. Now, cost burdened is when you spend more than 30% of your income on housing costs, and a person is considered severely cost burdened if they are spending more than 50% of their income on housing costs. So those who are severely cost burdened belong to our extremely low income households. And according to the National Low Income Housing Coalition 2025 Hawaii Housing Profile, they stated that 48% of extremely low income households in Hawaii are seniors, and 28% belong to Hawaii's working class. That makes up the majority of our extremely low income households here in Hawaii. Now, this extremely low income households, out of these extremely low, so for every 100 extremely low income household, there are only 37 affordable housing units available. That leaves 64 other households without affordable housing. Now, these extreme high cost of housing has been the main reason for why many local families are leaving. Hawaii has seen a total out migration of its total 1% of its total population each year for the past several years.
Oh, really?
2025 survey by Housing Hawaii's Future stated that 45% of residents ages 18 to 34 have stated that they have seriously considered leaving Hawaii in search of, stating that leaving Hawaii in the next 5 years, stating housing costs as their main reason for wanting to leave.
Yeah.
So now that we know a little bit about the community impact of Hawaii's unaffordable housing, why don't we go ahead and I'll share with you about how affordability is determined in Hawaii. So, affordability in Hawaii is determined by using a standard metric known as AMI. AMI stands for Area Median Income. So, AMI is calculated by the combined total of all earned income, of the earned income for all residents living in a region. So, affordability is then determined based on 140% of that AMI, or anything below 140% of that AMI. So now the government uses AMI the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, they use AMI to set eligibility requirements for like housing programs and income limits,
Also, mine
um,
is low.
and are on the private market side, like property owners and landlords, they use AMI to gauge fair market prices, and things like that. So the thing is, the problem with AMI is that the it doesn't always represent the community equally, right? So whenever there's like new development or a lot of big development for like these luxury condos and stuff like that, it increases the area's AMI. Say like in Kaka'ako or Ala Moana, where they have all these $1 million condos being built, right? All of their that are moving in, they're drawing in a large number of high income earners, right? Whose now earned income is being calculated into the area's AMI. Once that AMI increases, of course, property values increase, rents go up, cost of housing goes up, and this impacts the entire community, but more so it impacts our long-term residents and our local community, right? So the people who are living there, who have lived there for a long time, eventually find themselves pushed out of their own neighborhoods, because they can't afford to stay there no more. So now we know. So I mean, now you know how affordability is determined in Hawaii. Why don't we go ahead and talk about how affordable housing is obtained and then lost. So despite public investment and policy efforts, Hawaii continues to lose affordable housing to the private market every year. Affordable housing in Hawaii is acquired through different means, right? But a lot of it is government funded. Well, most of it is government funded.
What are you doing here?
By our state. The state will pay for development, they will fund development, but they don't actually develop or own property outright. The ones that they do is only our private housing, right? That's in our private housing collection. If it's otherwise, it's usually owned by like a private developer or a nonprofit will like operate or take over the contract for the property or whatever it is, right? So whenever say like a private developer or a nonprofit takes over the contract sets the availability terms and the affordability terms and the length of affordability and the amount, right? So say a person agrees, or a developer or property developer or a nonprofit takes over the property, and they set, okay, their terms are affordable under 80% AMI for the next 40 years. Great, whatever. So we secure that affordable units for the next 40 years. But after the next 40 years, when that affordability terms expire, those units can be put on the market at full market value. So according to HHFDC, that's the Hawaii Housing Finance and Development Corporation. They manage and oversee all of Hawaii's affordable housing stock, right? So they set the terms, they make the contracts, they do all of that, right? They oversee projects. They've recently increased the length of affordability term from I think it was like 61 years to now 75 years affordable, which is great that they're moving in the right direction, right? They're thinking about how can we retain affordable housing units longer. The problem with the way units are acquired is that they all have an expiration term, right? So whether it's through new development where the government mandates that new developers reserve a portion of their units at affordable for X amount of years, that's great also. But after X amount of years, all of those units go on the market at full value, right? So they don't have to keep them at affordable.
What is this bull crap?
So the thing is, for every affordable unit we gain, every new developed non-affordable unit that is developed, we could consistently lose existing affordable housing and add it to the non-affordable housing. So now we have double, triple, quadruple the amount of non-affordable housing, and we still only have this little bit affordable housing because we have a hole in the bottom of the bag. You know, we keep putting inside, but it keeps coming out the bottom, and then we keep picking it up from the bottom and throwing it on top, making it look like the bag is full, but it's not. So with that, now you know how Hawaii gains and loses its affordable housing. This brings me to the end of my presentation, and I hope that this presentation has given you some new insights to how affordable housing in Hawaii is created and lost, and how affordability is defined in Hawaii, and more on the impacts of unaffordable housing on Hawaii's local community. Now, although Hawaii has made progress towards extending affordable housing for Hawaii's people, there needs to be more done to ensure that those affordable housing units